a few more questions if we have time to get to them.
Yes, and in the question about NCMEC, I wanted to know if you reported traffickers. And I think that that is something important to do. You need to come back to us on that. Also, you mentioned referring children to local authorities. You need to let us know how many are we talking about? Is it in the hundreds, thousands? Give us those numbers so that we have that data. Also, I'd like to know how long you hold the data on your research. You've mentioned you can't give us the data, and then you say, well, you may not have some of this data. We need to know how long you're holding this data on minors, those children that you're data mining. And I was glad to hear you admit that you all are a big advertising business. I thought that that was helpful to our discussion. You mentioned in response to Senator Lee's question that you hoped you did not sound callous when we were talking about children that take their life or that have lifelong problems because of what they have encountered on Instagram. And, sir, I have to tell you, you did sound callous because every single life matters. Every life matters. And this is why we need this research. I thought it's also interesting, you basically give teen girls no recourse if they get into a dark spot using Instagram. But we've got a lot of parents that come to us. This is why we're doing these hearings, and they're concerned about how their children are going to be affected for the rest of their life. And I asked you yesterday when we talked if you ever talked to these parents whose children have taken their life or have ended up having to have mental health services because of what they've incurred. And you said, yes, you do. So I want to give you 1 minute. Speak to parents who are struggling. Their children have attempted suicide, or maybe some of them have taken their life. So take the next minute and speak directly to these parents, because as I told you yesterday, I've talked to a lot of parents. They've never heard one word from Instagram or Facebook or Meta, and they are struggling with this. Senator Cantwell brought this up to you. So, sir, the next 60 seconds, the floor is yours.
You can have longer than a minute if you like.
Speak to these parents, because we're not talking to people that have ever had any kind of response from Instagram. And you have broken these children's lives, and you have broken these parents' heart. Floor's yours. Have at it.
Thank you, Senator. Senator, I'm a father of 3. To any parent who's lost a child or even had a child hurt themselves, I can't begin to imagine what that would be like for one of my 3 boys. As the head of Instagram, it's my responsibility to do all I can to keep people safe. I've been committed to that for years, and I'm going to continue to do so. Whether or not we invest more than every other company or not doesn't really matter for any individual. If any individual harms themselves or has a negative experience on our platform, that's something that I take incredibly seriously. Now, I know I've talked a lot about parental controls. As I've said, I really do believe that a parent knows what's best for their child or a guardian. But I also know that a lot of parents are busy. I've got 3 kids and I have a lot of support. I can't imagine what it would be like to have 4 kids or 3 kids and be a single parent or working 2 jobs. And so I don't want to rely on parental controls. I think it's incredibly important that the experience is safe and appropriate for your age, no matter what it is, 13, 15, 17. But if you have the time and the interest, I also think as a parent, you have the right to be able to understand what your kids are doing online, and you should have control to shape that experience into what's best for them. And if you don't have time, that's okay too. It's my responsibility to do all I can to help not only keep young people safe on our platform, but anybody who uses our platform.
Mr. Masseri, we are telling you children have inflicted self-harm. They are getting information that is destroying their young lives. And we are asking you, have some empathy and take some responsibility. And it seems as if you just can't get on that path. So we're going to continue to work on this issue. I wish that your response had been a more empathetic response.
Thanks, Senator.